In 2013, Microsoft introduced its new console, the Xbox One. It required an internet connection. It was designed with digital game downloads and media streaming in mind, locking purchases to specific accounts and disrupting established resale and game sharing habits of physical discs. On top of that, Phil Spencer, then the head of Microsoft Studios, after trying to explain the complex ecosystem of the upcoming console, announced a $500 price tag for the Xbox One. The audience gasped and fell silent.
At $499 in the US and 499 euros in European markets, 429 pounds in the UK.
Hours later, Sony took the stage. Executives presented their new console, the PlayStation 4. It didn't need an internet connection to function. Used games would play just fine. And unlike its rival, titles wouldn't be tied to online accounts, making sharing easy with physical discs. And to top it all, Sony announced the PlayStation 4 price of $400. Cheers exploded through the stadium. One week later, Microsoft reversed its plans for the Xbox One and launched a console that operated a lot like boxes of past generations, and a lot like the PlayStation 4. Nevertheless, the PlayStation 4 went on to outsell the Xbox One more than double. People thought that Microsoft got it wrong. Players didn't want digital games, nor consoles that are connected to the internet all the time, and they weren't ready to give up their discs and the ownership of their games. Fast forward to 2022, most gamers buy their games in a digital format, exclusive only to their own accounts, and the consoles are always connected to the internet. It was obvious that in 2013, Microsoft predicted the future of gaming, but it was too early to make it a reality. But this wrong timing didn't discourage it from taking the next 8 years to plant the seeds of what would become the ultimate gaming future, cloud gaming. So what is cloud gaming? What companies are racing toward this gaming future? And who is winning so far? For decades, the old gaming business model stood on two pillars: the games in the form of software and the hardware that's capable of running those games. This hardware-intensive model led to an epic battle between tech giants to rule the gaming space, dubbed the console wars. Only three companies got out alive: Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. These three companies have fought for players' attention for years with exclusive games from first-party studios that are available only on their respective consoles. You have to buy the right hardware to be able to experience those exclusive games, and with each new generation of consoles, the battle heats up again to win players' eyeballs and wallets. Simply put, you buy the game in a physical or digital format, put it in your console or computer, and start playing it. The key players in this equation are the developers that make the games, the stores that distribute them, and finally the devices that you use to play those games on. But with cloud gaming, the console cycle doesn't matter anymore. That's because when you're playing a game on the cloud, you're not really using your device to play it. You're just connecting to a remote console that's running the games. This simple twist on gaming shifted the whole industry, and some of the biggest companies that are on top today seem to have very little advantage for the future. The old gaming industry model no longer applies. The new model that enables you to play games on the cloud requires these three elements: the developers that make the game, a network of servers distributed all around the world, a cloud gaming service or portal that you use to interact with and play the games on. So when you use a cloud gaming service like Microsoft Xcloud, you're using their app or website to tap into their cloud servers that host the games. Every game you play on Microsoft Xcloud runs on a single Xbox in server. So when everything works well, it's not all that different from the experience of playing on an Xbox at home. Only that, not many companies have these elements necessary to build a cloud gaming business, cloud computing infrastructure being the biggest handicap. Only a handful of firms around the world have global servers ready to scale on demand. Microsoft owning the second biggest cloud service, which puts it at a huge advantage over its competitors, which only have one of these elements but not all of them. Nevertheless, that didn't discourage them from trying to capture some of that cloud gaming market, with the most notable services being the Nvidia GeForce Now, Google's Stadia, and Amazon's Luna. These three companies are interested because they have the infrastructure necessary that pose a huge entry barrier to other potential competitors. Big Tech didn't care about gaming for the most part, but when they saw a way that it could be software only, using the cloud, without the hardware sales headache, they started drooling over the potential revenues from the easy software scalability. They realized that cloud gaming can penetrate every corner of the world with only existing internet connection, without the need for you to buy any extra hardware like a gaming console or gaming PC, using only devices that you already own like a phone, a tablet, or even a TV. So in 2017, Nvidia launched the GeForce Now, a cloud gaming service that lets you play PC games you already own on their servers. It is technically impressive, but the company has struggled with publishers over rights to content. Most publishers ordered the company to remove their games from the service, leaving it with a small library of games. Plus, the service adds unnecessary friction by requiring you to log in to the Steam store or the Epic Store to verify that you own the games you're playing. Google launched its Stadia service in 2019 after much fanfare. Stadia allows you to play a limited number of games available on its service only after you buy them, even if you already own the games elsewhere. And since Stadia is a relatively new product for Google, there is always the risk that Google might shatter the service as it did with many of its products, which will make you lose any games you bought on it. Google already shuttered its game development studios assigned to producing AAA games for the service, after deciding that investing in original content wasn't worth it, arguably deeming the service to failure without any first-party games. Amazon released Luna, which is still in early access more than a year after its initial launch in 2020. In its current form, it still relies on other publishers for content, and the only publisher contributing major games is Ubisoft, which runs its own Ubisoft Plus channel that costs a separate subscription fee. Microsoft, on the other hand, has the most advantageous position among big tech companies and gaming companies alike. It has the DNA of a big tech firm. In fact, it's the second biggest company in the world, period. Its Xbox brand is synonymous with gaming. It doesn't need any extra marketing to introduce the new gaming brand as Google and Amazon do. It owns the second biggest cloud computing service. And most importantly, it has its own gaming studios, making it the third biggest gaming company by revenue after Sony and Tencent. It is the only company that ticks all these boxes. This unique position Microsoft created for itself enabled it to make two products that are very hard to compete with. The first one is Microsoft Cloud Gaming, codenamed Xcloud, that's powered by Microsoft's Azure cloud computing centers hosted in 140 countries. The service runs on multiple platforms with the app or any browser like Chrome, Edge, and Safari. Microsoft Cloud Gaming gives you access to more than 100 games to play on the cloud. On the surface, it seems that it is very similar to other services like Stadia and Luna, except that the real genius of Xcloud is that it is not a standalone service. It's included for free under the Xbox Game Pass service, which is the second product we need to talk about, the ultimate service Microsoft created to distance itself even further from the competition. Game Pass was introduced in 2017, a game subscription service similar to what Netflix is for movies and what Spotify is for music, putting all of its games on a single platform for a fixed monthly fee. Xbox Game Pass includes more than 100 high-quality games, with Microsoft Game Studios titles joining the service on release day. It also includes third-party games like unlocking the EA Play titles. And if you wish to buy a game, Microsoft gives you the ability to buy it at a discount. The service amassed over 25 million subscribers and it's growing rapidly without any meaningful competition so far. And because Microsoft owns the Windows platform, the Game Pass exists as two separate services on both the Xbox ecosystem and on PC, enabling players to download and play games on each platform. You can even enjoy both services under a discount bundle called Game Pass Ultimate, which gives you access to the cloud gaming feature, enabling you to play any game available on Xcloud on any device you have. The cloud integration also enables features such as try before you download, to try games on the cloud before you decide to download them or buy them. The Game Pass is very hard to compete with as it is, but integrating Microsoft Cloud Gaming into it as a free additional feature makes it nearly unbeatable. Unlike other companies that offer their cloud gaming services as a separate product that you have to pay for, then you pay for the games themselves, which Microsoft offer for a cheap subscription fee. Microsoft took a page from the streaming giant Netflix when the latter realized that it has no advantage in building its platform earlier than others. The competition can easily build competing services. The real value was in the content it provides, and so it chose to be a studio itself early on, to produce and acquire as much content as it can to defend its position. Microsoft is taking the same approach. Early on, Microsoft established its own game studios to produce high-quality games. But it didn't stop there. It went on shopping spree.
Mojang is being bought by Microsoft. While there's
We added
only so much information
7
about the
new
acquisition
game development
available right now,
studios
the
to
deal
Xbox.
ended up being for
In
$2.5 billion.
2018, they
and both
bought
Mojang
6
and Microsoft
studios,
have
and
some
keep in mind, in
deals with
2014,
other
they bought
non-Microsoft titles
Mojang.
like Microsoft.
Joining Xbox Studios is Double Fine Production.
Microsoft is buying Bethesda for $7.5 billion.
Microsoft is going to be buying Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard shares have been halted with this news pending that's coming out on this.
Microsoft gobbling up studios led it to own several of the biggest gaming franchises of all time, including Minecraft, The Elder Scrolls, and now Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. But Microsoft didn't stop here to make its Netflix of games unbeatable. It's inviting developers to join its PC platform by dropping the revenue share percentage it takes for publishing games on its store from 30% to 12%, and converting those games to the Game Pass by paying publishers licensing fees. It's taking a similar approach for the Xbox Game Pass by attempting to lock down streaming rights from all of its game development partners in exchange for Microsoft reducing its 30% Xbox App Store fee. All of this is making the Game Pass on both PC and Xbox the leading subscription service for games, if not the only one. The little competition the Game Pass has as a subscription service comes from other publishers like EA and Ubisoft, which offer their respective libraries of games for a monthly fee. But because they aren't as big as Microsoft, they can't compete on the same level, leading EA to offer their EA Play service under Microsoft's Game Pass, and Ubisoft offering Ubisoft Plus under Amazon's Luna. The only meaningful competition in this space could come from Sony's upcoming subscription service codenamed Project Spartacus, which will unify the existing PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus services under the same roof, exactly like what Microsoft did by combining Xcloud and Game Pass. The upcoming service has the potential to be a real problem for the Game Pass as a monthly subscription service. If Game Pass is Netflix, then Sony's Spartacus is Disney Plus. Sony is taking cloud gaming seriously. The company has been a player in cloud streaming since before the market started to pick up steam, with the PS Now being a streaming service that's been around for nearly 6 years. But Sony squandered its lead, and now it has to go back to the drawing board for a new service. Reports suggest that Sony's cloud service won't be as compelling as Microsoft's, because Sony will still want people to buy their first-party games the old-fashioned way, and not to offer them as part of the subscription service on release day like Microsoft titles do. And the ultimate obstacle threatening the future of the PlayStation is that Sony doesn't have its own cloud computing infrastructure. It's still a small company compared to Microsoft, and it had to partner with it to power its upcoming cloud gaming under the Microsoft Cloud Computing Service. This means that even when the PlayStation outcompetes the Xbox in cloud gaming, Microsoft still wins. The console wars took a turn when Microsoft and Sony the longtime rivals in gaming, released their next-gen consoles, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Microsoft's overall strategy was different from what Sony was doing with the PlayStation 5. Sony took the more traditional route with the next-gen launch, focused on exclusive games for the PS5. Microsoft, on the other hand, was investing in content for long-term to market the Xbox Game Pass and to try to reach more people than traditional next-gen console. Even on launch date, it made it clear that the Xbox Series X is just one of many ways you can play Xbox games, and that Microsoft's true focus is Xbox Game Pass. Microsoft isn't measuring its Xbox success by console sales anymore, but by how many people play Xbox games through an Xbox Game Pass subscription in the future. Game Pass is Microsoft's true next-gen Xbox, not the Series X. While the PlayStation 5 was following a traditional console upgrade path with an emphasis on high-powered games and exclusive software, the Xbox Series X and S are vessels for Game Pass subscriptions and Xcloud streaming, leveraging the massive Azure network, something Sony can't do without paying Microsoft. You may ask, why would Sony go with Microsoft as a cloud partner and not with Google or Amazon, the other two biggest cloud service providers? This is mostly because Microsoft itself offered Sony a better deal than other providers. It could have offered Sony some perks only a true contender like the Xbox can offer, like promising fewer exclusive titles and better relationships, and also offering experience other firms don't have with integrating existing gaming services into the cloud. This begs the reverse question of why would Microsoft help its rival with cloud gaming? Because Microsoft cares that it gets the leading gaming company under its wing and not lose it to other big tech rivals, which are the company's true competitors, not Sony. Microsoft is primarily not a games company. For it, the ultimate goal is for as many businesses and products as possible to be powered by Microsoft Cloud services. A big industry shift is at play in gaming, with game subscription and cloud gaming services being positioned as the future. Microsoft is at the forefront of all of this with its Game Pass offering, combining both Game Pass and Xcloud into the ultimate gaming app. When every big tech company with enough resources struggled to release successful cloud gaming services, Microsoft found success offering cloud gaming as a free perk instead of relying on the technology as the core of its subscription. The company figured out that to succeed, cloud gaming needs to disappear in the background. But the competition is far from over. Rivals with deep pockets and vast resources will not sit on the sidelines. Google has a lock on mobile gaming with its Android platform and Google Play Store. It already has a subscription service for mobile and could at any time revive its cloud gaming development studios. Owning YouTube gives it great leverage as well. Amazon, with its Luna cloud gaming service based on the AWS, the #1 cloud computing service in the world, and owning Twitch as a leading gaming social platform, could take it a long way. And Sony, as the biggest gaming company, could easily create a compelling subscription service. Having a major movie studio doesn't hurt either. It can potentially offer a movie streaming platform bundled with game streaming. It can even throw in Crunchyroll, the biggest anime streaming service, in the mix. If that happens, Amazon would also bundle its Amazon Video streaming service into its Luna and Twitch offering. In fact, this future of a hybrid subscription service isn't far off. Netflix already is offering gaming on mobile side by side with its movies and series. In the future, it's obvious that cloud gaming cannot exist as a standalone service. It has to be bundled with other added value services. And thus Google Stadia, Amazon Luna, Nvidia GeForce Now and more, none of this is cloud gaming's final form. And they will either evolve with time or perish into oblivion. Even the current champion of this new brave world, the Game Pass, has a long way to go. The ideal future for the service is to go full cloud native. Currently, the games you can play on cloud services like Microsoft Xcloud are not cloud native. They were designed to run on the Xbox. This is why you need a controller to play cloud games on the PC, because you're essentially controlling an Xbox on the cloud. And because developers make games for the Xbox console, they are limited by the hardware and software of that system. To be cloud native, a game won't be made for an existing hardware. It will be made for a system that runs natively on the cloud. When this eventually happens, and every game is developed for a system on the cloud and not a system on a box, there will be no need for the fragmentation of the Game Pass. There will be only one Game Pass, because there will be no PC games and Xbox games. There will be only cloud games that you can play from any device. Other than getting rid of any special hardware to play them, the benefits of these cloud native games are faster load times, no need to install or patch games, and superior graphics. The games will be free from the limitations of the console or the gamer PC specs, and will tap into the power of multiple servers to give you gameplay and graphics never possible with a single console in your home. And when it's time to upgrade the server's hardware, it will be done seamlessly and easily without the need for a new generation of consoles. And the console cycle will be a thing of the past. An example of this happened when Microsoft recently upgraded its Xcloud servers to the latest Xbox Series X hardware instead of the old Xbox One. Microsoft is already working on cloud-native titles, getting ready for a full cloud-native gaming world. But until then, it is determined not to make the same mistake as it did in 2013 when it tried to rush into the future. Instead, it's planting a foot in the present with the Game Pass and another in the future with Xcloud. As both the technology and players aren't ready for cloud gaming, Microsoft is playing the long game, separating the two services while keeping them under the same roof. But as time goes on, cloud gaming will be synonymous with the Game Pass. Just as you log in into your Netflix account and play a movie, you will do the same with your Xbox app on whatever device. Dedicated gaming hardware will become, and already is becoming, less important to the everyday player.